Are you liking the signings that you've made this offseason? What's being your latest one?
Yeah, we're chipping away at it. Josh Woods is the latest one, and that's a big one to get. We're really making an effort to try and re-sign as many of these guys as we can. We had a little bit of a shorter list than most people because we've tried to sign people to at least 2-year contracts, and so our list was a little bit shorter, but they were obviously important guys on that, and so we're just trying to chip away at it and see how many we can get signed before the free agency rolls around.
The one big name that we've all been waiting for, it hasn't happened yet, which concerns me, is Matthew Betts.
Yeah, Matthew, we're definitely working away at it. It's not for lack of effort. There's some big names in this league, which Matthew would be one of those, that it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So as these days tick by and you get closer to the date, the motivation tends to kick up on the player side or the team side, whatever that is. So Matthew and some other big names in this league will be interesting to see what happens.
Are you at the point with him where he has let you know that he's either going to test free agency or he's interested in coming back? And do you need to know that before you head into the final?
No, I generally think he wants to come back here, but he has an agent and all those things, so you kind of work on it. So no, there's no foregone conclusion that he's for sure going to be here or for sure going to be gone. That's not the case. I think it's working through people trying to figure out what their money value is.
What about the allocation of resources, though? Because if you are interested in signing Betts, you have to have those resources available. Now, if he kind of strings you along and then he signs somewhere else, and all of a sudden now you got to go to Plan B. Plan B might not be there because Plans B and C might have already signed.
That's right. That's part of it, making it a fluid situation, and what makes free agency tricky for the players and for the teams is you got to gauge all those things on figuring that out. And so, like I said, as the days tick by and the date gets closer, things tend to have a way of figuring themselves out, whatever that ends up being, because you got to, we're trying to look out for the BC Lions football team, and a player's trying to look out for himself.
Does it come a point though where we talk about it, these things are fluid, but does it come a point?
Yeah, we got to keep moving on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, obviously, we want to sign all our guys back. So that's still our attitude all the way till the end. We're going to try to sign any of the remaining free agents that we have. And at the same time, we got to be looking out for the football team as a whole and figure it out as it goes.
How much of a balance is that? Because, the money on Betts, from what we're hearing, and, you almost could sign 2 players.
Yeah, that's the thing. Our motivation at the end of the day is what makes the BC Lions the best football team, and we got to look out for the Lions, and that's all part of figuring that out as we go. We're definitely going to find out here in the next 2 weeks.
Is there any area that you want to target in free agency?
Well, number one is signing our own guys, period. That's what we want to take care of that first, and that's what's been going on for a while now, and which will continue the next 2 weeks. And then we are never going to turn down a football player that we think can help us. And so again, that remains to be seen of who's still in the market, and go from there.
Dane Evans retires. I think he let you know that was going to happen, but how does that change who you have now backing up Vernon Adams Jr.? What are you looking at for that backup?
Yeah, so we would like to get a veteran guy in here. So that would be a focus. So there's still a list of guys out there that could be possibilities, but that would be definitely something we're looking at, that if we can get a guy that fits, that has played in this league and has some experience, we'd like to make that happen.
Would you like to have that happen sooner than later? Because Vernon was so good last year, doing so much in the offseason with your receiving core, and I think we saw that in the offense, the way that the guys played. Would you like to have that other body here sooner than later?
Yeah, I think if something's going to happen, I see it happening sooner than later. Like I said, as soon as free agency rolls around, that you don't ever know what's going to happen, but hopefully we get something done in February.
Last camp, we talked a lot about the strength of your receiving core, and now with Don Rhymes leaving for Ottawa, what does that do to the strength of your receivers?
Yeah, we're going to have to. We obviously, you're making some tough decisions on keeping people around and following a salary cap and all those things, and A guy like Alexander Hollins is a guy that was a young guy that wasn't making as much money, and now he's making more money. Katoy was up, Hatch was up. So you make these choices and you try to find that mix of where we have guys coming back, and at the same time, the reason we have a personnel department is to bring new guys in that can mix in. I think it's very doable to have a guy or two that's new to the CFL come in, especially if it's a veteran quarterback and there's a veteran group around him. And so we're going to be counting on that this year.
I know you said that you want to concentrate on bringing back your own guys, but obviously you didn't reach the ultimate goal last season. So can you depend on those guys coming back and being 1 year better, or is there still areas that you need to improve on to get to the ultimate goal?
Both. We need to count on guys that continue to get better. An example is Alexander Hollins would fit, and he's not the only one, but I mean he fits in that category. Or Josh Woods, or those guys that are definitely on a upward trajectory. And so that we're counting on that, number one. And then we're not going to turn down, if we get a guy or two, like we're not going to be huge players, but if there's a guy or two that can help us, we're absolutely going to look at it.